Hello everyone, my name is Lily, and welcome to episode 3 of Diary with an Artist. Today I have my face cam on. I'm not sure if this is a worthy addition to it. Hopefully this will give me a personal touch talking about my art. For this month, I have started a new mentorship with Jeff Chen Designs. I'll link his Patreon down in the description if you're interested. He's primarily a character designer but has experience in environment concept art, so I decided to give his mentorship a chance, and I'm going to show you guys what I created within the past month and kind of like my thought process and what I've learned and what I thought I could do better. Of course, everything I say is my opinion. I'm only a student, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Yeah, so let's get started. So this is more of a diagnosis piece that Jeff had every student of his do. This is essentially, you have 4 hours to do a design. Any design you want. And I decided to do something more comfort zone. I decided to apply some Chinese architecture stuff I was applying. A lot of the feedback I got was to maybe focus more on creating appealing shapes rather than what's it called? These small details like bracketing. I spent a long time studying the bracket system, so I think I had too much fun with that. And placing more emphasis on little things that indicate scale, like doors or windows or railings. Like those things tell so much about the culture that it gets unaccounted for, and it's pretty underrated. So the thing that took the most time was the isometric piece you see right here, and it wasn't even that good. The scale is kind of funky, the roofing is kind of flat. Nothing like the references I had, which I can't really show you right now, but yeah, I was mainly inspired by Chinese architecture. So after that, we decided to do some more building thumbnails, and here's how the first page came out. I was pretty disappointed with how this came out because I thought it would just be a little easier to create like an appealing design. If you don't know, these designs I'm doing are for my personal Dungeons and Dragons campaign I'm running. It's based off Avatar: The Last Airbender, so this is just one huge fan project. I'm redesigning redesigning locations based on the architectural influence I thought would fit the show, and also kind of turning back the clock to Roku's time. I really enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you can tell. I basically read the whole wiki by now. This is the second pass I did, kind of building upon what I had already, playing with multi-story buildings. This was for the first pass of my Air Nation temple. This came out okay. I liked it. I thought that the form language was pretty consistent. As you can see, I had tons of redlining or tons of notes for myself to fix. This was during my first week, or my second week of homework, really. And you can see that in the later designs, I drastically changed it more and more. At this point, I got feedback that it looked more like a redesigned Ba Sing Se, and that was definitely not what I was going for at all. So I pulled some more reference and read notes some more. And yeah, taking a brief pause from that, I took part in the concept club that is running on Jeff Chen's server, and I thought it was really fun. This was my first week. I'm not so proud of it. I thought it was alright. Like, the colors are kind of gaudy and the line art's really messy, and there are amazing painters on there. I just felt so outmatched. I'm sure that I will make more in the future and improve, but character design is just something I do for fun. I don't think I would do it as a career. But moving on, this is not that important. So this was after a huge rework, and I got some feedback, like I said, about the buildings looking like Ba Sing Se. So I tried to give it a way more airy feel by putting them in these really high mountains. I started to play around with the idea of the mountains being inspired by the Huangshan Mountains or the Yellow Mountains. And I really liked the idea, and I completely redesigned I didn't really completely redesign the buildings, but I did place them on these new type of structures. And I think that alone, like the spacing of all of them and where they honestly are, instead of like this huge bridge that are like built onto the mountainside, I feel gives me more of a nomadic type of vibe, per se, for lack of a better term, from these people. Later on, I got some. You can see that these elevations get messier and messier as I go because I stopped caring about the elevations themselves. But I then got some feedback from Jeff, very helpful advice, by the way, that the spacing and the shapes of my designs were way too similar. As you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but the bottom building of the bottom part of the main building is big. And then you have a medium shape, a medium shape, a medium shape, and another medium shape. You can, of course, break it down to these small, tiny shapes, but it's not enough to impact the larger silhouette. And so, in the next designs, hopefully, you can't really see it here, I tried playing with that more. Yeah, I'll show you that in a bit. But these are some ant drawings I did. This is my first insect ever using Foundation Patreon's Charles Lens series of foundation sketching, and I found it super helpful. I have tons to improve on. Here I just honestly thought the insect was way too stiff, and I took too many liberties with the organic looking version, and it ended up being way less exact, a little too stumpy, and I lost a lot of form because of it. While the boxy version, the perspective's okay. There's obviously a lot of lines I find that are wrong already within my month. But, you know, technically it's more correct than the organic version, I feel. It's just a lot more stiff. This piece of artwork, or pieces, is from the Abstraction Challenge on Jeff Chen's server. Again, I've been becoming very active lately. It's basically just trying to help everyone with composition and how to think about things in an abstract way, which I know feels so generic, but I really think it helped. I'll show you the before and after and why it helped pretty soon. Let's skip this piece, it's just another concept club, very fun. Anyway, this was my first round of thumbnails before the Abstractions Challenge. And as you can see, not very good, very stiff, very scattered-brained. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was having so much trouble with like presenting these ideas with just line. So Jeff suggested that I ideate in 3 values: dark, medium, light, to indicate foreground, midground, background. And I thought, why not? I know that I want to become a background layout designer for animation. So we primarily, or at least the TV shows I would like to work on one day, love to work in line, and not a lot of value, so I was a little hesitant, but decided to try it anyway, and I got way better results. This is Abstractions Week 2. There, damn. So this is round 2, one of the pages. I created 25 thumbnails in a week rather than struggling to create like 15. I still have a lot to fix about these thumbnails, but I'm way happier with just how less frustrated I felt. I still got frustrated, and I'll show you which ones I got frustrated with, but these I feel just came out a lot more naturally. I think even though I mainly draw and design in line as a student, I think I still think of these really large shapes, and it's really hard for me to wrap my head around these lines, and just designing in line is super hard for me. This is the one that got super frustrated with, the garden. The hanging gardens were super hard because the dome is round and it's an overhang. There's not a lot of elements to it that make it seem interesting to me, but maybe I just haven't mastered the skills I need to make it look interesting. And Jeff gave me some feedback on how I drew things. Even in a thumbnail, they should still be kind of properly drawn. When you're doing like tiny napkin sketches, it's okay to be this rough. But when you're trying to refine these and present them to someone, you should probably indicate them as leaves, because those leaves are still important shapes in your composition and can make it a lot more interesting. Sorry if I'm talking so much, but here's to admire my failures. This one is from the guard towers. We ended up going with the 3rd run, and I'll be working on that now, and I'll show you in the next month episode 4. yeah, again, a lot less frustrated. It's so much easier to come by with these backgrounds. I think they're so much fun to thumbnail. Yeah. Well, as for backgrounds, this is pretty much it in terms of like what I've done this month thus far. Yeah, as far as I know. But let me show you. Let me show you a little bit of the redesign that I did. Maybe I think that would help fill in the gaps of like this design and the very first designs. I'll be right back. Alright, so what you're looking at here is just the redesigns I did. If you looked at my previous section on the background designs and what I did during the month. At first the buildings were super generic and they kind of just looked like a generic Ba Sing Se, but a little redesign, not really, kind of looked the same to me. I decided to go with this wooden supports structure, and I was really inspired by Mongolian architecture. I feel like I didn't represent it the best here, but I really tried my best, and hopefully it comes through more when I start fleshing these ideas out even more in the background layouts I do, and I can't wait to show you guys those. Yeah. Back to the bugs. I drew bugs, more bugs. I decided to make a little presentation thing for them. I thought they looked nice. But seeing that I'm blown up now, they're super messy, and I wish next time I can focus more on clarity. My second ant drawing. I have a third one coming up for you guys. That'll be a next month video. This is the grasshopper. Not my best grasshopper. I wish I can show you guys my sketchbook, because I did a lot of organic drawings there, rather than a perspective grid, you know, a foundation page on a very tight perspective style, because I feel like it stiffened my work a lot. But as you can see, I still don't really understand how the legs connect to the thorax, and like how the legs connect to each other, and like how the topology of the back legs work. I'm still not very clear on that. I'm still studying that, so hopefully it turns out a little better next time. So that's it for the bugs. But I'm sorry jumping around so much, but I created a lot of art this month, and they all kind of vary in topic. I think it's better for me that way, so I don't get bored of just doing one thing. Because I have a short attention span. I made these studies. They're not the best. Of course they're not the best. I studied from pictures of the Yellow Mountains. Of course, if I want to draw what I want to draw in the final piece, I should try to practice it. Made a lot of mistakes here. For example, the horizon line. It'd be like right here. But we're still seeing way too much of the bottom of these guys. Or at least I didn't make it clear enough. The perspective. And here was just another study of The Legend of Korra, how they handle their mountains, because I really enjoy that show and I love their layouts. I love their background designs from them, so I tried figuring out how they indicated topology and like how they indicated wear and tear and line weight. As you can see, they're really messy and dirty studies. These were only on like a tiny canvas, like 1,000 pixels. Yeah, so sorry for the mess. But I learned a lot from it, really. And these are just some tree studies. We're finishing up here. It was kind of a short month for me, and yeah, hopefully have more content for you guys next time. Yeah, these are some trees. More trees. This is from Legend of Korra. This tree on the right. I think it's really important trying to pull your favorite influence into your art. Because then, if you want to work for that show, you already know how to draw trees like that show. And you won't even have to learn their style guide. And this was just a grouping study. Essentially, that is it. That is all the art, pretty much saved files in the complete folder that I have for this month. August. I don't know when you guys will see this, but hopefully before the next episode comes out, episode 5. For episode 4. My bad. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Overall, I still have so much to learn, but if you guys want to join in on my journey, do all the YouTube things, I guess, or just stay tuned for the next month. If you want to check out Jeff Chen's Patreon, I will put that in the description. Yeah, good luck on your art journey, friends. Can't wait to see more from you. Thank you. Bye.